G'day, this is a quick video on how to set up a 3D flight on your quadcopter. I've got here a Nighthawk 200 and it's just got some basic stuff, an F3 flight controller and some basic 2204 motors. The first thing we do here is we go through and connect to our quad. I don't have it powered up or anything like that. We'll just check our settings. I don't have it currently set to 3D. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is go to the Motors tab to calibrate our ESCs. This can't be done after we've turned 3D on the ESCs. So we want to turn our master all the way up, connect power and listen to the boot up cycle. We'll also hear a special tone. And then we want to turn the master all the way down. Cool, so that would have calibrated them. You can do a little test to see if your motors are spinning. Then just disconnect, and now we want to start up Blheli. We've got the power connected, so we just connect and then read our setup. Here it says ESC1 setup read successfully. I kind of freak out and think that it's only read the first one, so I just go and read each ESC individually. Probably didn't need to, but just wanted to make sure it was working. Go back to the overview and you can see anything in blue is different to the general trend. So now I just select each ESC individually and turn the motor direction to bidirectional. Write the setup and that's fine. You can see here it says programming by TX. It becomes disabled once you've gone and pressed bidirectional. This is why we had to go ahead earlier and calibrate the ESCs before we went and turned the motor direction to bidirectional. So I'll just skip ahead a little bit. So now I just go to the ESC overview tab and you can see here I've got bidirectional on for each ESC and nothing else has really changed. The blue's kind of shifted over, but it's saying that the default ESC is 1, so the other ones are blue, whereas before it had 3 and 4 as the default, so ESC 1 and 2 were blue. That's pretty much it. Now we just have to go back to Betaflight. You'll notice that I haven't had to unpower the quad or anything like that since I'd powered it on, or disconnect any of the USBs. So we just go back to the configuration tab, we turn 3D on. You may find that you have to play around with these settings a little bit. I had to change the 3D neutral position just up a little bit because I had it a little bit too low, and so whenever I disarmed it would always get the motors spinning in the negative sort of direction. So I've saved and rebooted. That's pretty much it. I just go in and have a little test with the motors and make sure that the motors are spinning the right way, but that's pretty much it. I did have to go and solder motors 2 and 3 just because I had everything soldered on correctly, and which was fine, and initially I had ESCs 2 and 3 on reverse direction, but if you're going to run 3D then you're going to have to make sure that each motor is soldered in correctly, because when you choose bidirectional you can't choose a direction for its default. But yeah, this is really it for a 3D quad conversion. There'd be a few other tips like using the actual 3D props, because there's just not enough thrust on usual props, and I'm saying that from experience. The last tip I'd probably use is just make sure you tighten your props down and use nylon lock nuts, because just that reverse direction can, even just going from a normal direction and then going to the other direction for your motor, just the momentum of the propeller spinning can really assist in undoing that nut, so you really want to get those on as tight as you can. Well, I hope that helps get a few people in the air with 3D. I think 3D has a lot to offer in terms of acro flight, and I think it'd be interesting to see what people can do with it. So, yeah. Cheers.